Hello, my name is Oscar Brighton and this is my final major project. I'm just doing this little 2-camera bit at the beginning of the podcast because I originally introduced the podcast on the day of filming with all my co-hosts around me and talked about what we were going to discuss in the actual podcast. However, that footage unfortunately got corrupted as well as the audio, so that sucks, but I'm doing this now. This will suffice. Here we are. The podcast was originally meant to be about films and TV shows, and we do talk about TV shows and make reference to films, but like every podcast, we lost track of time and we just started talking about the things that we wanted to talk about. I really enjoyed filming it with my friends. I know my friends enjoyed filming it. I'm very glad that I had the opportunity to film something like that with my friends. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, just a warning as well. We do swear throughout the podcast, just a parental advisory if you're younger and you're watching this for some reason, or if you just don't like swearing, then you might want to click off now. We also talk about some touchy subjects near the end, some stuff that some people just may not want to listen to, which is completely fair enough. So if you are easily offended or triggered or whatever, then I would suggest going somewhere else. But anyway, thank you. Take care.
The topic I wanted to move on to was our favourite doctors. So really quickly, just put it out there, and then I'll move on as well. You got favourite doctor?
Matt Smith.
Favourite doctor?
Matt Smith.
Favourite doctor? Peter Capaldi.
Disgusting.
I get shit on for this quite a lot, right?
But
I've never committed to
Peter
him.
Capaldi has by far the best writing, not situational, but with dialogue, the best writing out of any of the doctors. And he has like the most emotional scenes. And it's something, as I've grown older, the more I hated him when he first came on, but as I've grown older, I've got on the jokes a bit more, and his English sarcasm is something that Matt Smith didn't have because they were trying to push it towards an American audience. But when it comes to Peter Capaldi, it's the most sarcastic thing in the world, kind of like putting away American viewers.
Yeah.
This is why he gets so much hate as well. I love him. I think he just sums up like Scottish behaviour, and I think that's brilliant.
To be fair, I haven't watched a lot.
I kind of like
So
I got through like the first.
His first season.
How many did he have? How many seasons?
He had 3 seasons. I
Okay,
think.
so I think I got through the first
First one's
one and
poor.
a half.
Second one's so good.
The second I never fully got through. Like I was like, okay, I should get through this, but then I never did. And then I don't know why, but I did enjoy the episodes.
He
that
wins
had.
through his Christmas episodes, which is something Jodie Whittaker doesn't have. She only has New Year's episodes now.
Oh,
So it's
really?
it's bull. It's bull.
I
Yeah.
think the Matt Smith seasons, he did like 3.
They were the
4.
best situations.
They were
Some
the
of those stories
best-
were.
Yeah,
Some of the
they had
best
some-
things that have come out of Britain in a while.
Oh, for sure.
But
They were
like,
smart
media
and
wise, obviously
everything.
not like
Yeah.
technologically advanced wise.
Oh yeah.
I'm quite wise with
yeah.
Doctor Who because I went through like the end of last year.
I went through a phase.
Yeah,
watching
I
all
watched
the- I watched
all
all
of it again.
Yeah, I always
loved it.
have
I really enjoyed it.
phases of
Have you
Doctor Who.
guys seen it's called Nightmare with David Tennant when they're on the train?
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
such
one?
a good.
Is that an
basically,
episode?
It's with David Tennant. They're on a train and they're going to this. It's called like the Oasis. And it's
Is that the
basically this
one
planet.
where they start saying the same things at the same time?
So they go
yeah,
to this
yeah,
planet and it's filled with crystals, but the planet is really close to a sun. So the sun is so hot that it reflects off the crystals and burns whoever looks at the crystals alive.
Oh,
So they go
okay,
on
I
this
think
train
I remember this.
to
Yeah.
get to
Yeah.
a viewing platform that's specifically designed for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Whilst
yeah.
they're on there,
Whilst
they're,
they're
There's
on
like
there,
things
this
outside.
this creature starts
Yeah, yeah.
kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
crawling
yeah.
all over it, and then it goes away, but it possesses one of the people on the train, and then it kind of goes from there.
oh, that
And
episode is.
because it's one of the best. It's so good. You have to go if you take it. Like I said, take anything away from this. Go watch that episode. It is.
It's so good.
They
It's-
don't leave the train. It's
Yeah.
apart from the beginning and the end.
Yeah, the whole episode's
a
in
whole
the
episode
train.
On the train, you find out the characters are great.
The
They
best
have
bit
their own
about it,
motivations. It's such a good.
the best bit about it is it's the first time. Well, like one of the first times that the Doctor is no longer in control of the
Yeah.
situation
Yes.
because
Yeah,
it takes
yeah.
over him.
He
Yeah.
gets possessed by it, and you're like,
And you're like, okay,
he's
well,
the
no
guy-
one's gonna save
this
the
guy's
world
like
now.
saved so many planets.
Yeah.
You know, like races of aliens are afraid of him. They run at his name, but he's being possessed by this unknown entity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do?
I think one of the cleverest episodes, in my opinion, was the library one. Just because
The library one is so
I'm
good.
100% sure
100%.
later Rick and Morty
100%.
took something off early Doctor Who. I'm
Oh, yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
100%.
And I think I can't remember who the original creator with David Tennant and Christopher Eccleston was, but he popped in the River Song idea, saying, "Okay, you haven't met me yet, but spoilers."
Yeah.
And I think Stephen Moffat got given that in the Matt Smith and the Peter Capaldi area and smashed it out the park.
Yeah.
River
Did
Song
so
is probably
well.
one of my favourite. She's so
They
complex
overused her.
and weird.
Yeah, it's such a
She got overused, but she was a very good idea.
Yeah.
I just like how weird. Like I said, I love how just weird and she, there's like a bit where she like escapes like a space prison and like
It's so good.
survives space.
Yeah.
And then lands
Yeah.
in there and she's all like flirty with the Doctor. And
It
the
ma-
Doctor
it
doesn't
makes
really
sense
know who
'cause,
she
like,
is, and-
Of course, the Doctor. That's why I never agreed with like Jodie Whittaker big bit, like the Doctor becoming female, because they always had River Song. That was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
when they had
That
that,
was
it was
a-
like that
a
was
shit.
the female version
you
of
ship them.
basically,
Yeah.
and it made
It
sense.
was it was for me, the start of it was the Master turning into Missy, but I really liked Missy's character.
Yeah.
She was a very good character. I disagreed with it, but I was kind of like, she really adds something that a male Master couldn't, like a because then they'd flirt the Doctor.
Yeah.
But then when Jodie Whittaker turned it, it's like you almost, it was kind of like you've lost everything about the show.
Yeah,
Then. It's kind of
I've
it's
only
like
seen
James Bond turning
a
into
few of those episodes of Jodie Whittaker, and they don't live up to the name nearly as
Yeah.
nowhere near they should.
I
like
think the Master is not your Kane.
not gonna put that out there anymore.
I think my favourite villain in Doctor Who, or like bad guy, I think after the Weeping Angels, the Weeping Angels,
Weeping
are number
Angels
one,
take the
and then
cake.
it's probably the Master.
What
The
about the silence?
The silence are the best. We're both expecting you to say the
No,
silence.
the scene is
Genuinely.
It's so good.
Because-
The fact you
I
mark
would
your
say-
arm.
Yeah,
I,
is
would,
so
so
good.
I would even say the silence are fourth. Third are Daleks.
No, silence win over
See, the thing about the Daleks,
the most
is they
overused, like,
so the
Nazis in
Daleks
the
used
world.
to be cool, right? But when they started using them, you're like, okay, the Doctor's just going to win again. What are they going to do? They've
Yeah.
tried
That's-
everything.
That's the thing. And
Oh, at the bottom was a jammy dodger. No one cares.
No, it's funny, man. That made me laugh. But that entire the thing is, I'm myself. This shit, right? Good. So, Doctor enters a room. 12 Daleks are in that room. You know where that's going to go. The Doctor's going to find out
Yeah,
some
yeah.
loophole, discover with
But
his
that's
Omnitrix or whatever
boring.
the hell it's
No.
called.
12 silence in
Sonic
the room.
screwdriver.
I want to hear what's going
No,
on.
but
You know?
you see the Dalek, but you're in the one room, Doctor and a Dalek.
Yeah,
That's
no,
all
that episode
in
was
the war rooms when he's in World War II, the trenches, and it's one. I mean,
Yeah.
I think there's two Daleks,
yeah.
and you're like, what's their goal? Because I started to trust them. I was like, oh wow, this is like an alternate reality where they're actually good, and maybe the Doctor's going to have to come to terms with having them as an ally. But when then they betrayed him, and they were
Yeah.
like, we're going to invade Earth. Then it was kind of like, oh okay, that was
yeah.
good. Now it's more of a basic plot.
Yeah.
However, they are iconic. I just
Yeah.
They're iconic.
You
Yeah,
think of Doctor
yeah.
Who, you
I
of
think
Daleks.
silence are the best though.
Not the best. They're
Oh,
one of
for
the
sure.
best.
No, I think they're
Who's
the
But
the
I
best?
think the
Who do you
Weeping
think?
Angels are the
Yeah,
best.
oh,
like
oh,
those.
No,
That-
don't get me started on
Imagine-
Weeping Angels.
No,
Weeping
Okay,
Angels
okay,
are one
are
of
we
the
talking
fucking
about
worst.
are we talking about the
Worst.
scariest or the best? Because
No,
the
no,
scariest
no.
Weeping Angels take the cake.
Yes,
Because
okay.
imagine a statue that would like
They are the
anytime you
best
don't look
I-
at
for
it.
one
I don't
episode.
look at statues.
One episode.
I
The
don't-
first David Tennant episode is the only time Weeping Angels were okay. After that, they overused them again and again. There was that 2-part episode at the start of Matt Smith.
Yeah, but that was
Oh,
a
it
sick
was-
episode.
Fresh and
It was
Stone.
alright, but like it was kind of like,
You
okay,
know
you're kind of
that-
pushing the idea a bit. I don't
That
know.
I really like that episode.
That episode was really good.
I really like
It was a
the
good
bit,
episode,
the bit
yeah.
where River was talking about, I don't know what they were called, but they basically, the civilization was like in crumbles and it was like in ruins.
Yeah.
And they were all frozen like in time or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were like, the people who lived here had 2 heads.
Yeah.
So why don't these guys have 2 heads?
Yeah.
And then they were
And
like,
then-
shit. And they had to get
Yeah,
out. And it was
then-
like, the
yeah,
music
now
starts-
they're
So
now they're
good. So
surrounded.
good.
Now they're
The
just
music-
surrounded
yeah,
by
the-
all
the-
these weeping
exactly.
angels.
There's like
and
the
they're
globe, isn't there, in the
Yeah,
ship?
yeah.
And then,
Imagine
like,
every chair in this room is going to kill you. We'd be fucked.
Yeah. No, it's interesting, but I think the only problem with that 2-part episode with the ship was when it shows them move. And I don't know if you remember this, but in the second part when Amy can't see, which she opens her eyes, she
Oh, yeah,
dies.
Dr.
She
Switches.
she walks. She's walking through this thing. She kind of falls, and you see the angels like moving really slowly. But
Dude,
beforehand, yeah, and you can hear like the
Yeah.
beforehand,
Oh,
like you
yeah.
say, they used to teleport. They didn't move.
Yeah. So the teleporting part is the scariest part.
Yeah.
Because it's like every
So
time
they
you
ruined
blink,
that
they move
illusion
so
completely.
quick.
No,
Yeah.
I actually think that's because those angels were desperate. That's the whole point was that they would.
Yeah, but they
they
can
were
still
trying to feed
move.
off life of everything, so they're not going to have. But they probably don't have the energy to teleport.
They're made out of rock.
But still, when
I don't know. This is just what.
But they're still controlled by some kind of.
Yeah,
they
but
were-
still,
they
they
were
ruined it
after
for me because
that-
you're never
it
supposed
was
to
the
see
crack-
them move.
It was the crack in the wall. They were after the energy
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the
Oh, yeah.
rippling
I
time.
love the noise that comes with them. That
Yeah. You know the noise of the TARDIS has been used in anime before.
Is it?
There's an anime
I'm not
called
surprised.
Testament to the Sister New Devil, and there's a bit where the guy he activates his power and he goes like woo, woo, and I was like, what's
Hang on a
this?
minute.
This sounds a bit familiar. Like,
でどうするよバサッチ
why do you say it like that? But anyway, like I was saying, Dad made a very good point. I think it was my dad. I might not have been, but he said that TikTok is the generation of people that have not been punched in the face for saying some out of pocket shit to someone.
Yeah.
Because I remember at school one time, I was in like year 4, and I used to say like what was on my mind at school because I was just a cocky little kid.
Yeah.
And I used to be like, oh, your shoes are ugly, your hair, you got dandruff in your hair, oh, you got a bogey
Yeah.
coming out your nose, all of that shit to like random kids that I didn't know, even if they weren't my friends, I'd go up to them and say it. And I said it to this kid, I remember it was Jack Davies, or Davis, whatever.
Wait to out him.
Yeah, I know.
He's gonna get millions of
If you're
views
watching this,
now.
you're a pussy, Jack. I hate you. No, I kid. I said it to him, and he just turned around and punched me in the face. I said you had like a bogey coming out your nose, bogey man. And he just turned around and pieced me there and then. I fell down, and I remember I told, I think I told one of the older kids. I didn't tell my dad because I knew he'd tell me off for getting into a fight.
Yeah.
I told one of the older kids, and he was like, I said, oh, he punched me in the nose, go get him. And he was like, what did you do? And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, he didn't punch you for no reason. What did you say? And I was like, I called him bogeyman. And he goes, there you go. Don't call people bogeyman. And walked off. And I was like, it was such like a, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Basically, don't
exactly. And
don't
the thing
ask for it.
The thing is that kids on the internet will be like, oh,
Kids can get away with anything.
yeah,
'cause there's no
I know your hair is stupid and your shoes are cheap,
Ow.
and and be
nothing can happen.
racist.
Nothing can happen.
And no, things will happen exactly. And then they're like, but why is this happening to me? Why am I getting the repercussions for my actions? And it's
That too,
they
yeah.
should have. I learned it when I was young, and I'm going to teach my kids that.
Fucking
Essentially,
punch him in the
no,
face.
essentially, chat shit, get back.
Yeah.
That's essentially what I'm going to teach my kids.
Yeah.
If you
Don't
keep
beat your
your head
kids.
down and you move on in life and you don't bother anyone, you mind your own business,
No.
you will have a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
life. I've had a good life so
Yeah.
far
Yeah.
because
Like-
I kept my head down and minded my own business.
So I've always been the spectator of that. That's
yeah.
how
Yeah.
I've
Same,
known to
same,
keep
yeah.
my mouth shut because I've seen other people do these things and then suddenly they're in fights. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to get hurt.
Exactly.
No, exactly.
So I just don't do those things that
Or
get
like,
you into fights.
I remember I was friends. I won't say her name because she may watch this, but I was friends with this one. I'm still friends with her. This girl who she commented on another girl's post, and the girl had like fake eyebrows and she drew them on, and she drew them on really small. And she was like, she commented, your eyebrows are too small for your face. Fix it.
Yeah.
And then the girl essentially, like the girl who had the small eyebrows, just went off on her, and she ended up telling her to kill herself, say all this quite
Yeah.
mean, vindictive shit. And the girl I'm friends with was like crying about it, and I'm sitting there like, I feel bad for you, but if you hadn't have said anything, this whole situation couldn't have been. If you kept that situation or that thing to yourself, this situation wouldn't have been a thing.
There's so many problems that could be resolved by
Shut
just
up.
literally keeping your mouth
Literally.
shut.
Exactly. It's all you got to do, man. If you take one piece of advice from this,
Just keep your mouth
this
shut.
we were meant to talk about films, but
But
we're giving life advice.
Yeah, right. Yeah, free life
Don't
advice.
Talk negative about people because you don't know what they're going through at the end of the day. That guy you bumped into on the street and told to go fuck himself, he could, his mum could have died earlier, and he could be upset about it, and that could be the final straw. You never know.
Ouch.
People just need people try to take that anger out on other people,
Exactly.
and
People,
that just
that
creates
is-
a hostile environment, and that's
Yeah.
not what you need. You need
That's secondary school, then I'm not sure.
That is. I never really felt that about secondary school.
Oh yeah, I did at Garth. You probably.
No, I've always felt that about pubs. Whenever I go near a pub,
Oh my
I
God.
feel
I feel
such a hostile
uneasy.
environment.
I
Come
feel
on,
really,
but
like-
as soon as you start drinking,
No, as soon as
if you're
you
No,
get
well,
part of
once you get
But
to
no,
the
when-
age when you can
first
drink, but
when
when
I first got to the manor, we went to the
Yeah.
manor the other week, and I was I threw up a lot, but I remember I was sitting there, and I was like sitting like that, and I don't really, like I said, I'm an unconfrontational person, but I was sitting there like looking at guys, just kind of like, yeah, I could take him. If I was to break
really,
up- yeah,
this is the reason why pubs
No,
are
no,
so
no.
hostile.
Yeah, all right, exactly. Because
I wasn't like that. I was like, where the fuck is my
No,
drink?
no.
I'm
To
not
be fair,
like, you know,
I've always had the thoughts like, okay, what if this person tried to
Yeah,
attack me?
exactly,
What would I
that's-
do?
I'm not-
I don't
Because
really
like,
think that.
I'm not like, oh, he's that
I'm not.
It's not like
I'm
I wanna
like,
get
why
into
would they
this
want to
fight?
attack me though? That's
Yeah,
what I think. Like,
That's
what's the point?
you don't know if they had a couple drinks and you look at them slightly awkwardly.
yeah, that's the thing. The amount of times
I don't
people
know,
have
I've just
literally
never
looked at
been
people
into this.
funny, and then they get.
I saw at the tap in Wokingham the other week. There was some guy got his knob out, ended up getting like the shit beaten out of him, and that's a valid reason to get kicked out.
There you go.
But there
Don't
was,
get your knob out. You won't get the
yeah, well, no,
shit
but
beaten out of you.
there was a
done.
big scrap because of it between two groups of people.
Oh,
What if I
right.
get into the mix of those two groups? I didn't get my knob out. I never got the guy who got his knob out.
It's
Yeah,
literally
I
if
get
they're
that.
fighting, one of them knocks over your drink or something, then now you're involved in this
Exactly, and you're
situation.
like, yeah, and like, but to me, it's so difficult because it's like if someone was like, yeah, come on in, son, you want some to me,
Yeah.
and then, you know, like did something to me, they poured a drink over me or
Yeah.
they slapped me, I would be like, well, I'm in this now. I've got to.
Yeah.
I can't just sit here and take this.
Oh,
Even
yeah,
though,
no,
like,
no.
I don't want to get into it. Like, I
Yeah,
would
basically,
love
at
if you
all
just
costs,
walked up.
I will avoid this.
Yeah.
But if you're
Yeah.
making me,
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you're not
We'll
gonna-
have to
you're not gonna be a
retaliate.
little
Make
bitch.
the
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
move, and I'm gonna. Pop, pop.
Yeah, no, I find with pubs there, I've only ever been Manor, and Manor's got a really friendly atmosphere, you know. So I've never
Well, yeah, you
experienced
also
any
know a
fights
lot
at
of
the
people
Manor.
in Bracknell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it also.
If I went to
But
one,
no,
I'd
yeah,
probably
yeah.
know.
I'll be like, oh, I know him. I've
Pubs-
seen him before. Yeah.
It's the thing because it's not necessarily pubs that are the problem. It's the alcohol. Because the alcohol just make you do dumb shit, right?
There's one way or
We need
another.
to-
Yeah.
You've never walked past a pub at 3 p.m. in your school uniform.
That's station tap. That's
What?
different. Station.
What, I've got like.
No, no. For,
Oh, yeah.
for girls it's
Yeah.
much worse.
Oh,
you
yeah.
get catcalled.
Yeah,
all
but
the
we
time.
Don't go station
don't-
tap.
And you two get that aggressive. 3 p.m. It's 3 p.m. and there are people sat there being aggressive and shouting at people.
50-year-old men drinking
Yeah,
Stella.
that's just sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I avoid the pub unless like I need to go.
Yeah,
With
I like.
people.
It's just.
Like,
Oh, I
yeah.
do.
just because
I love pub. I go pub every opportunity. I can.
pubs aren't my environment.
That's
No,
fair, yeah.
I hate pubs.
They're too hostile.
Love pubs.
I want to talk about something.
Go on.
I want to talk about. I've got 2 points, and then we'll probably wrap up. So, pirates. But first, a word from our sponsors, Magic Water.
Action.
Hi, my name's Christopher Peacock, and have you heard of Magic Water? What? You haven't? Well, Magic Water is the brand new product from the German company COBCAST. But why talk about Magic Water when I can just show you? Had a messy dinner party with some friends? Gah, been there, my friend. Just 2 squirts of Magic Water, and wow, would you look at that? Have a genuine disdain for boxes? Well, just 1 squirt of Magic Water, and wow, fire? Alright, now this one's a biggie. Tired of your boring old car? Just throw on some Magic Water, and wow! Wow, Magic Water, I love you!
COBCAST is not liable for any deaths that may occur using Magic Water. Please do not sue the company, as that's just a big hassle, and we can't really deal with that right now. Batteries not included. Terms and conditions apply. Side effects may include, but are not limited to, anthrax poisoning, smallpox, AIDS, Ebola, depression, athlete's foot, mild headache, vomiting blood, severe diarrhea, minor muscle discomfort, death, and a bad case of erectile dysfunction.
And now, back to your regularly scheduled programming. There is such a gap in the market when with pirates.
Yeah.
Because there are 2 forms of media that do pirates so well, and I think it scares producers and execs in Hollywood to try out something with pirates. But I think that if you got a pirate show that was you could get a pirate show that is on the same level as Game of Thrones.
Oh, for sure.
That you could build a cast of characters, have the captain who wants to be this big pirate guy. You could literally make the plot as basic as possible. Here's, person A, he wants to become the world's richest pirate.
Yeah.
and he builds a crew.
Sounds like an isekai.
It's what I'm going to go on because it's an anime.
Yeah. Oh right. Okay.
And he just builds up and he gets more and more people. Now, there's an anime called One Piece, which, yet again, check it out. But it's 1,000 episodes long.
Don't check it out.
1,000 episodes long.
Don't check it out.
But it is so good. It is the single. It's my favorite anime of all time. It's the great. I think it's the greatest. It's
It is for sure. It's undisputed. Yeah.
It's such a good anime. But the whole point of One Piece is you've got this guy Monkey D. Luffy, who wants to become the king of the pirates and find something called the One Piece. The One Piece is a piece of treasure, or a treasure, it's kind of a mystery, that the previous pirate, Gold Roger is his name, he hid it on a place called the Grand Line, which is kind of like the Bermuda Triangle. It's essentially this really dangerous piece of ocean that only the most powerful and skilled pirates can travel along. And so Luffy, kind of through various different circumstances, gathers this crew, and he spends like 300 episodes getting this crew together. And then they're like, let's go to the Grand Line and, find the One Piece. And then they go on adventures. And I'm only on episode like 150. But it already is so good. So that's one. That's one iconic, it's such a staple of anime that, anime, yeah, there's this one anime that's 1,000 episodes long. It's like always something that people bring up. And the other one is Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah,
which is the live action. But the Pirates of the Caribbean films are great.
They are great.
Got
crap.
Good.
They got worse.
They got worse, but they were still pirates.
They're still iconic. Like, you go to the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Universal and Disneyland and stuff like that because you want to see Captain Jack Sparrow. I can remember getting the who's the octopus, Donnie? His dad.
I remember that was some of the best CG I've ever seen in my life. That was amazing CG.
Yeah. And also the bit where he goes to grab him because they have the Curse of the Black Pearl. He goes to grab him and his arm is bone. That bit was like when you're a kid in the cinema.
I wish like a 2-hour video essay just explaining why after Pirates of the Caribbean 1 why it just wasn't as good. And it's because like Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp's character, was never actually supposed to be like the main character of the show. In the first one, he's not the main character. He's like the helper in the situation. But in the second, third, and fourth movies, they try and make him the main. And it works. Such a good
job of acting.
In the second and third one, it works. But I still feel you're missing something because when he was like the side character, it wasn't too important. What he didn't have to have an overall effect on the major story. So he had a bit more freedom.
I think that the mark that is being missed with Pirates is the brutality of it.
Like the grittiness of it.
And it's still a sensitive subject. So you got the modern day pirates. If you see Captain Phillips.
It's with in One Piece, whilst in One Piece it's an anime and it has the room to be this kind of gritty thing. At the end of the day, it's for kids, kind of.
Yeah.
The kids will be reading Shonen Jump and watching this anime and reading it, so they don't want to be like. They don't want there to be like any murder or rape or pillaging or burning.
But anime's anime,
or
isn't
anything
it?
like that.
That's what I think.
There's like a bit of blood, a bit of guts, a bit of gore.
But when it comes to pirate live action, you want to do it justice. But when it comes to anime, you can just kind of do what you want, so they get away with it.
Disney owned. That's the thing. They're not going to be like Captain Jack Sparrow is not going to say fuck and chop some dude's head off, is it? He's going to be like.
I mean, I'm sure he did at one point.
That's why Assassin's Creed Black Flag. That's always I've always loved that game.
Such a good game.
Because it's just
so good.
It's
so good.
It goes through being a pirate so well. You get to build this crew and get this bigger ship, and then you just.
Do you play Sea of Thieves?
I've played it. It's not. It never lived up to the name. It's mainly because I paid
Black
money.
Black Flag. Quite ironically, Black Flag is a better pirate game
not
than Sea of Thieves.
Don't buy Sea of Thieves.
Don't buy it. I got it for free.
Don't buy it.
If you get it for free, maybe play it.
It is an experience. It's a really good experience.
I got it on Xbox Game Pass and I played it like twice and I installed it. It's not very good.
It's not good.
It's not amazing. Black Flag's a better pirate
game.
Flag
if you're gonna get a pirate game, get
best
Black Flag.
pirate game I've ever played.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
There's
one of the best games I've ever played.
Definitely. I replayed that.
Freaking incest.
So
hell yeah.
The reason, there's a trope in anime, a lot of incest, right? So I did some research.
I've heard as well.
I did some research. There was an anime, and I'll tell you why. There was an anime I watched called Yusugu no Sora. It's a lovely anime. I don't know. I'm not Japanese.
Yusugu no Sora.
Basically, a man and his sister go to a house after their parents die, and it's in the countryside. It's lovely, nice little Japanese village, perfect,
sprawling trees,
The atmosphere and the
greenery,
music is amazing.
The music is
Very
brilliant. It's a 13, 15 episode show. I think it's 15.
I think it's 12.
Is it?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
it's quite
whatever.
short. Yeah,
But
it's quite a short one.
the guy is a very good looking person. He's a very good looking chap. When you agree, he's a good looking bloke.
Everyone loves
Um,
him. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he goes to the school, and of course he gets a lot of attention. He's the new transfer kid. He's a new guy. Oh, he's got blonde hair, or not blonde hair. Sorry, he's got white hair, and he's always good looking, and he's kind of muscly. And oh, well, let's go to the beach. And oh, he's got a body on him. Oh, da, da, da. He ends up going out with 4 different girls, but it's 4 separate stories. So he doesn't actually cheat on anyone. It's like 4 different universes where he goes out with 4 different girls, and you explore the girls and their personalities. And one of them's a bit flirty, one of them's a bit shy, one of them's a bit blah, 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 whatever. But there are 3 episodes. 3 episodes, and I remember looking at the poster for it and thinking there are already like 2 girls on the front, like 3 girls on the front, sorry. So we've already had 3 stories with 3 separate girls. There are 3 episodes to go. Who's this next girl going to be? His sister. He basically has sex with his sister a lot. Now,
I stopped watching after he had sex with his sister
Yeah, I'm
once.
not a-
That was me going like, no way.
I'm not a weird
touching
guy.
this.
I'm a fairly normal chap.
FBI, open up.
I'm a little weird around the edges, but there's only so much incest I can tolerate.
Oh my
Right?
god.
He literally.
No, hang on a minute. Don't take that out of context.
No, he literally he'll be like eating breakfast and she'll go under the table.
Really?
Yeah, there's a scene where she does it. She's like, oh, you seem upset, and he's like, all right.
God.
I know, and you're like, oh my god, we guys.
How
UAL, please
You
give
don't-
Oscar a
surely
pass.
it's like,
UAL, please don't think badly of me because of this. I'm a nice chap.
but the only reason why they can still get away with that is because
It's drawn
America
from it.
and
It's 'cause it's drawn.
England is just
Yeah.
like supports it basically. With the amount of anime they watch.
But I wouldn't say
Like,
supports
I-
it. if you looked at the viewing figures, it was like millions of people who'd watched those episodes.
Yeah.
So like they must kind of just look at like, oh yeah, this gets loads of views. Let's keep making
Yeah, I
it.
know, but what's the demographic for that? Because I know
There's
recently,
definitely
Adult
like
men and
yeah,
me.
no, yeah, like recently, like America is big on anime,
Oh, yeah.
right? And
Anyway.
so like surely they're like
Yeah,
But
last
back-
20 years has been the anime
but
boom.
Back to the point.
20.
Back
Oh, yeah,
to the
for sure.
point. We'll get back because I've got a thing about that.
Yeah.
So, John asks, in a recent episode of Handshakers, a character revealed that he had romantic feelings for their biological sibling. This is nothing like the series I've watched beforehand, which made me wonder why incest is so prevalent in anime and manga. And so the response to this, and it actually makes a lot of sense. I've got to put it to whoever made this. They could be lying, but if it's true, it makes a lot of sense. Since Japanese media is so much more open about incest and incest sexual fetishes than the Western world, I think it's crossed all our minds at one point or another why this topic comes up so much. Does it have something to do with Japan's history or culture that we just don't get as Westerners? The truth is, historically, Japan has had no real problem with incest, doing it.
Yeah.
It says here that clans would traditionally encourage relationships among cousins or second cousins to keep the family going and the dynasties, because it was all about like
Yeah.
the honor of like family
Yeah,
names.
yeah,
and getting-
yeah.
I feel like this
Fun.
sounds like more of an excuse though.
Yeah,
than it does
yeah.
a-
To me, that's what it
Oh,
sounds
yeah, they,
like.
they
yeah.
just say
It's
that.
like, but,
It's
but-
like because of course now in the modern world we know incest
Well,
is
it says
bad.
in the post-war era, most people's attitudes towards incest had changed, and it turned to complete disapproval, likely due to the introduction of genetic science and probably a moral influence from the West. It is now common wisdom that Japan's bloodline is a best due to the inbreeding. A few Japanese friends and co-workers of mine were actually surprised to find out Westerners have allergies too, because it's all. A lot of them are allergy free.
I mean, I know that
because
like
it's all in the family.
80% of Japan's like lactose intolerant. I
Yeah,
know that.
exactly, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's not illegal in Japan,
Yeah.
so you can do it. And
So
two,
fucked up.
in a lot of rural villages, it still goes on.
I
It's
don't get it.
still,
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
saying it's
Like-
like saying I'm still racist because you know it only hit, like back in the 1950s. you
Yeah,
know, but
that's
it's
the
like, no,
thing.
that's
It's
not an
like we
excuse.
know now as a modern society that it's wrong.
Don't take that out of context.
So like,
I'm just gonna get that clip.
oh god, you're gonna blackmail me.
But you talk about anime and Western world. I did this when I was doing my thesis. I did a survey and I asked the question, "Had you ever heard?" It was the phrase, "His power level is over 9,000 and going Super Saiyan."
Yeah.
Because the phrase "going Super Saiyan" is so commonly, like, it's like he's on X Games mode, like that level of, like, if someone scores a sick goal in football, or a UFC fighter dodges a punch in a certain way, they'll go, oh my god, he's going Super Saiyan, he's about to beat that guy.
Basically, just someone performing well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so whether you know the show or not, you know what that is.
That is from Dragon Ball Z, which is 10 times popular in the US than it is over here.
Yeah.
But it's such a... How do you say? It's
that
such
phrase
like
has become like a staple.
Yeah, but it's also such an ingrained thing to the point where everyone, when I did the survey, sure enough, the survey was out of like 20 people, it's all our class, but still, 20 people heard about those phrases before in some kind of form of media, where their friends have said it, whatever, but barely half of them had watched anime or heard of Dragon Ball Z or done any anime watching or reading. So it's slowly trickling in. It's slowly been trickling in for, like you said, the past 20 years or so into the Western world, to the point where if you go on TikTok, literally TikTok would fall apart if anime left it and all the black creators left it, because that's all TikTok is. It's just like black people will make up like a dance, and then like a rich white girl with like 400k followers will be like, you know.
That's
and
another
then she'll
thing.
get like 100 likes or whatever.
TikTok has literally allowed privileged white people to get famous from being rich and white.
I like how I came into this podcast today thinking we talk about. I mean, we've talked about media and films and stuff, but not in the way I thought we would. We've actually,
Devilman Cry, baby.
It's weird how, because I genuinely thought it was going to be awkward. I thought it was going to be like, all right.
Oh, it will never be
It'd
awkward.
kind of like quiet, and then I'd be like, all right, the next thing I want to talk about is this. But
we've had moments like that, where we just do go blank, but that happens on all podcasts.
Yeah.
You just need those
editing skills.
You just need to get those prompts. Once you have a prompt, that's why most of them sit in front of computers and stuff, because then they just browse the stuff that they're talking about. Find something new, and they're like,
I mean, that's why we got the laptop.
I haven't really looked at this though. I read a couple of times.
It looks like once or twice. I looked at my phone once, and then
I haven't looked at it. I've just been talking.
You've been.
Well, I think we should wrap it up there, boys.
Yeah, there's a lot of footage you got to cut down. Anyway, that was good.
Thank you for watching. Imagine if we like put it on YouTube and it became like we got like thousands of views,
millions.
It became like a regular thing.
It'd be like Oscar is racist.
I'm up for
regularly doing it anyway.
I'd love to.
It's fun to talk.
Yeah.
I like doing
But anyone would love to be a podcast.
Thank you for watching, Stella.
Fuck
if
off.
you could turn off the thing.
Bye bye.
Take care.